Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting here at Carlisle. I've lost 1-0 away from home at Notts County in a game that, look, it hasn't done any damage to our league table position, apart from the obvious fact of it's a game less that we can now win. But with Tranmere bottling a lead at the end of the game, getting two men sent off, they lost 3-1. Morecambe lost as well. I believe Newport drew. It's results have gone our way, and this doesn't really have too much of an impact. We're still 5 points from safety, and yeah, it's a disappointing game because I think we could have got something out of it. I think for most of the game we were the better team. I think I can't get my head around why Aaron Hayden's starting, because since he signed in the summer, he's been by far one of the biggest mistakes at this club, and individual mistakes, his overall defender, and he just hasn't been at all any good whatsoever. And I know Terrell Thomas is being kind of brought back to full fitness, but in my opinion, if he can be on the bench, he can start. Like Aaron Hayden at fault for the goal today, and just so many mistakes, individual mistakes that he made on top of that we kind of got away with. One that could have very much been a goal where he just tries to clear it forward and just hits off the attacker, and it's just, there's so many errors that man makes all of the time, and I can't get my head around why he's starting. Obviously the fact that Dummett's injured, I haven't watched the interview from the manager. I don't know how long he's out for. I'm sure somebody will tell me. And obviously Thomas coming back from injury, Mellish being gone, obviously, the options maybe just aren't there for him to put instead of him. And Ben Barkley hasn't been great when he's been in either, but my God, he's been better than Hayden. And that's saying something. Barkley and Hayden have both had very poor seasons, but it's a hard choice. But I think I'd rather have Barkley at the minute, because my God, Aaron Hayden is just, I think it's so frustrating, because first time round he was probably one of my favourite players at Carlisle, and this time he's just been god awful every single time he's played, and it makes you wonder how is he still getting games. But when people are back fit, and obviously when Terrell Thomas is fit enough to start every game, I imagine he'll probably be in the team more consistently, and Aaron Hayden probably won't get a look in, and rightfully so. But yeah, look, so three of our best players from the win against Fleetwood were all dropped today, and by that I mean Kadeem Harris, Terrell Thomas and Will Patching, who all three of them, I think it's been done for fitness reasons with them playing on Saturday and Tuesday. Terrell Thomas obviously come back from an injury, Kadeem Harris apparently got a little bit of a knock on the weekend as well, and Patching obviously coming in from not playing football for a while before he came to Carlisle, with the Irish season finishing quite a while ago. I understand why he's done them all, but that fuse here, he just isn't. He's just not it, is he? He's just not the answer. And I don't want to be too harsh on a kid that's just kind of coming into the team, but when you get these lone players that have never played professional football before, that are coming from a higher level, that have played under 21s football, I'd say maybe 2/3 of them that, in terms of players that come in that haven't played professional football before, 2/3 of them just aren't physical enough and just aren't up to it. Some of them get away with it because, they're very skillful. It's a technique thing. But so many of them are just far too lightweight, and this fuse here looks like another one. I think it was definitely a weak point that Notts County looked to exploit, and they did so successfully at times, because he just doesn't put enough power on his passes. He's eased off the ball too much, and he just, he's got a good cross on him, and obviously he got the assist for Sam Lavelle's goal against Fleetwood. But my God, yeah, if as soon as Will Patching can play 90 minutes every week, he needs to be doing so, because Whelan and Patching are our best players in my opinion. But look, on the balance of the game today, Notts County, if you'd have shown a neutral that game without telling them where the two teams were table-wise, you wouldn't have guessed one was fighting for the automatic promotion places and one was in the relegation battle. I think we looked better than them for a long time. I think we had more chances than them. Hugel, and that's a big improvement. That's a big positive. We are creating a lot more chances for our strikers. There was a lot of good through balls put through the middle, which just hasn't happened all this season. And we made them pay for a lot of it. And obviously, you've got players like Rod McDonald in their team that you can kind of exploit their lack of pace. And Hugo's a very fast player, but he's getting in the right positions. He's getting chances, and he is getting a lot of chances. We're providing a lot of chances for our striker. He just needs to start putting them away. And he was fairly, in terms of minutes per goal, I know stats like that don't mean much, but when he was at Wigan, he was very prolific in that stat regard. So hopefully he can start getting a few goals for us. He hit the post, very unlucky. Maybe should have had a goal. Maybe probably should have had a goal. But yeah, look, today it's really disappointing not to win. I feel like I say this far too much, but we played well. It was a decent performance, and I think a lot of the new players kind of linked up very well. Embleton really hasn't, and I want to touch on this. It's such a pattern with us now that we sign players from a higher level that are obviously coming down a level for a reason. I think Embleton's just another example of that, because he was poor today, very poor. He's really not convinced me since he got here. It's the matter of it's not so much a lack of effort, but more a lack of commitment. Where I know he's not the kind of player to put in good tackles, but he just doesn't look desperate or rushed enough, or and there's I respect a player that can be calm, that can be collected, but I'm trying not to say that he doesn't care and that he doesn't put the effort in, but it doesn't come across like he's as driven as the likes of not Corey Whelan, obviously, Callum Whelan and Patching, and some of the players that we've signed from a lower level. And I think momentum in football is such a big thing nowadays. And I think players that are coming down in their career, and I've spoken about this before, and I've got a lot of stick for it before, but players coming from a higher level that are on the down in their career, they're usually coming down for a reason. And players like Patching and Whelan, who come from a lower level, they're obviously stepping up for a reason, and you can see that. You can see with the players we've got. Whelan and Patching, the two obvious examples where they've come in from a lower standard of football, and they're continuing that progression, they're continuing that momentum, and they look good when they've been put into the team. Another example being Williams, the right back. I don't think it was his best game today. I think he had a lot better game against Fleetwood. For me, a few things he tried didn't work. It wasn't a good performance from him, but it wasn't a performance to be worried about, if you get what I mean. And I think he looks like a very driven and a very good player, because he's come from, and I know he's come from a higher level technically with the club, but he's been playing this season in the National League and he was good, so he's earned a move up. He's going up a level, and I think he looks driven, he looks motivated to try and make it work, because there's nothing worse than a player coming down a league and thinking they're too good for it and just not being up to the standard. We saw it with Clough. Clough's the biggest example of this. When he came down, he looked like he thought he was too good for the level, and I get a little bit of that with Embleton, where he looks like he thinks he's too good for this, which is the kind of attitude I just don't really like. But look, there's a lot of positives today. I think we were the better team. I think I think we deserved at least a draw of that. And when you think of the quality of team, Notts County, I went in that game expecting to get beat, because Notts County, not even from the usual perspective of me not thinking Carlisle are going to play very well, which is a mindset I've become very accustomed to, but I was expecting a defeat just because of how good Notts County are. I think they'll go up, personally. I think they'll go up automatically. And if they'd have won today, which they did, I think they could have gone up to second if results had gone their way. It's a very tight top of the table. And Notts County fans won't be happy with this. They'll be happy with the result because they've won, but I don't think any Notts County fan will be watching that thinking, oh my god, we've just been pinned back for the last half, trying to defend a 1-0 lead against a team that were bottom of the league last week. I don't think they'll be happy about it. They won't be happy about the performance, they'll be happy about the result. But and I suppose we've got to do the opposite, not be happy with the result and be kind of okay with the performance. And that's where I'm going to leave it, because there's not much to discuss. There's really just not that much to argue about, because yes, we need to be doing better, and yes, we need to be winning games. But against such a tough opposition, if you play like that most weeks, we're not going to be in this relegation battle. But yeah, results went our way. We can kind of just forget that this Tuesday night game ever happened. That's what I'm going to try and do, and just focus on the next weekend. But yeah, let me know what you think. Because yeah, alright, and one thing before I go, Kadeem Harris, when you put him on, why are you putting him on the other side as to where he was the most effective last week? But that's where I'll leave it. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.